So today I'm going to put a EGR Block Off flange on my 4M40 Pajero. I thought I'd video it and put it on YouTube just because I had a look and there wasn't a massive amount of information on it. Now I'm definitely not very mechanical. I'm basically just a monkey that owns a few spanners. So I've got a bit of steel and I'm hoping I can just cut it out with a angle grinder and grind it down to the right shape. I'm also hoping to fit a EGT gauge in that flange. Now I know you really should be putting it in the collector part of the manifold, but for me that's way beyond me. If I tried that, I'll probably just have a nice hole in my manifold and probably just need a new manifold. So I'm going to try put it in there. Online I did a bit of research and people actually say there's not much difference temp wise. Some people say there's hundreds, but most of it just says they see sort of 10 to 50 degrees difference. So I'm going to put it there. It's better than not having one at all. So yeah, stay tuned. I'm just going to move some bikes around and cars around. So mistake number one is probably starting the vehicle because now everything's hot. So when you do it, don't do that. So first, I'm going to get this hose out the way. That's just a oil breather, so that can just go out there somewhere. Then this is your EGR system. So I'm going to unbolt them, and then there should probably be another two, yep, just here. So I'm going to unbolt them, and I'm actually going to use that pipe. Okay guys, so I've undone all the bolts. It was relatively straightforward. This one underneath was a little bit tricky, but I managed it, so you'll definitely manage it. Just going to use a rag because it's still pretty hot. Give it a wiggle. Oh. Well, it looks like someone has already done it, which is fine. I'm still going to make up the flanges, just because I do really want the EGT gauge in. But yeah, that's interesting way of doing it. Looks like a whole heap of exhaust cement or something.
So what I'm going to do here is just literally trace around that on my piece of steel and cut it out with an angle grinder. Bear with me. Like so. I'm going to find some safety glasses and get the angle grinder ready and get back to you. So the best I could find safety glasses wise is the old sunnies, so I don't really recommend using sunglasses. In fact, really, if you had a full-on visor, that would be a lot better. I almost thought about, I hate angle grinders. I had one explode in my face once. So I almost thought about putting my motorbike helmet on, but imagine if the neighbours come round or something and I'm wearing a motorbike helmet. So I'll probably just speed this up because this might take a while. Kobe, go away because you'll get scared.
Kind of got the shape. Well, as you can see, I'm just going to cut that bit and then start rounding those edges off with the old grinding disc. By the way, you can actually buy flanges. I couldn't find anything in New Zealand locally, and you can get them off eBay, but to get anything to New Zealand at the moment takes so long that I thought surely it can't be that hard to make, even for someone like me. And a vice would make this a lot easier, so it's just one of those things I always forget to buy. Just come to think of it, now that I'm halfway through, these are probably also a really good idea. Right, as you can see, I mean, it's not perfect, it's definitely not pretty, but at the end of the day, it's just got to stop exhaust gases escaping, and I think that's going to do it. Now, I'm going to go up to the neighbour's house, because he's got a drill press, and that would make it a lot easier than my little electric drill. I probably won't film that part, because that would be a bit weird, but I'll go do that and be back. Okay guys, I'm back. I have some holes, and they seem to line up perfectly. One thing I haven't checked though, I'll just get those bolts. Oh yep. I even drilled them the right size. Look at that. So I'm just going to give the edges a bit of clean up with the grinder again. And then I'm going to figure out how to mount this probe. You're supposed to thread it, but I don't have a tap and die set. The neighbour might actually, so I might ask him, but I was thinking just of drilling another hole and putting it through and putting a nut on the other side of it. I know that's kind of dodgy, but, well, it's not really dodgy, but yeah, I'll see if he's got a tap and die set. G'day guys, I'm back. It's actually the next day. So I went up, took it to the neighbour's house, and drilled that centre hole. But he didn't have a thread cutter that big, so what we've done is he took it overnight, and actually welded that, well, brazed, I think it's called, brazing, that nut in. So now, that will just, the probe will just screw into it, so that's a lot easier. So what I'll do, I'll put it back together and I'll show you the main parts, and hopefully it's pretty straightforward. Now this is it all test fitted up. So she's just in there like so. Now I'm just going to put some high temp RTV on it. Hopefully that seals it. If not, I'll have to go and get one of the gaskets, but I'm pretty sure this will work. I'll just show you what I've done here. So here's my new EGT gauge sensor. And so that's all sealed up. Have to wait a bit for that to dry. Now on this side, I noticed someone's actually already, the old owner must have already blocked this off. I don't really want to leave this open, I just don't want crap getting in there and stuff, so I've put the old block off back on there. I am going to keep this pipe, just because in New Zealand we have warrant of fitnesses, and it probably won't pass a warrant of fitness without that, so I might keep it just in case I need to put it back on. So I'm going to just put this hose back on the tappet cover breather, and then time just to put the gauge in and see if it works, and that should be relatively easy. Okay guys, what I've done, I've actually fitted the EGT gauge where the old thermostat inside temp gauge was. It didn't work anyway, and it just looks nice and neat, and eventually I will probably get rid of that gauge. I kind of like that gauge, don't really know why, it just does things. So yeah, I just pinched the earth out of that light bulb and the ignition out of one of the old wires that went to the old thermo. So I'm just going to install this, get everything tidied up and give her a test run. Okay guys, I have finally finished the EGT gauge install on the patch. I'll just show you around it again. By far the hardest part is installing, well yeah, would be threading that flange. Need to have the neighbour weld that nut in. So that's there. Wire runs through under that guard, which is pretty rough, across there. I wanted to bring it down under and back up, but it just wasn't long enough. So in the future I will drill a hole in the flywheel there and bring it back up that way. Yeah, ended up putting it in this dash cluster, gauge cluster. And yeah, she all works great. I have also moved my temp gauge, but I think I'm going to put that there. It was here, but it was really, when you're driving at night, the light was reflecting right where you want to see. So I put it there for now. But those wires are a bit ugly, so I want to move that and stuff. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, or have any comments or anything to say, what I should have done different or what could be better, definitely please yeah, drop me a comment on what I could have done, and yeah, I'll see you on the next Pajero project. Cheers.